I'm Avery.
I'm Angie.
And we're the Fools for Fiber. Welcome to the inaugural episode of what is probably going to be the most chaotic fiber podcast that you've ever seen. Probably.
Yep.
I haven't watched all of them, so I don't know, but we're probably going to be real weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say we're going to be really weird.
Yeah.
So
you're
we
Angie.
I'm Angie. And all of our social media information will be in the drop down below.
Yep.
We should probably say we're a swearing friendly podcast.
Yes.
Not that we drop F-bombs right and left, but
I might.
I don't know that you're going to want children.
Oh, I mean, they'll want to be around because children think cursing's funny. But, yeah, no.
And who are you?
I'm Avery. I'm your daughter.
Yes.
It's a little bit sad that you've forgotten already.
That means I'm the mother.
Yes.
So, we've been...
How long have we been doing fiber crafts, Mother? How long? Do you want to tell them the story about how you got me into my first fiber craft?
So, when we lived in the South...
Yep.
In order to get Avery to sit still when we would attend church...
Because I wasn't allowed to read
You couldn't read fantasy books, and she couldn't play with her Nintendo...
Game Boy. It was
Game Boy. Game Boy. Yeah. Sorry, Game Boy. And every 5 minutes she wanted to go to the restroom.
Mostly because at least if I was bored in the restroom, nobody would get mad at me for fidgeting.
Yeah. So I had the bright idea of putting a ball of yarn in my purse and a crochet hook.
Yep.
And Avery learned how to chain stitch a snake.
Yep.
And we measured them when we got home to see if she beat the week before.
Yeah. Didn't I get cookies if I beat the week before?
Yes. Yes.
Like 2 cookies. It wasn't even that impressive of a reward, but I wanted it.
But yeah. So that was Avery's.
Well over a decade ago.
Oh, 20 plus years ago.
Thanks. It's a good thing I really don't care about how old I am.
I'm not just dating you, though. I'm dating me.
That's true.
So, I mean
age is whatever. But, yeah, so we've obviously been doing this for a minute, although I think we both fell off for quite a while.
Yeah, I think life was really hectic in Atlanta. So I think because life was so hectic and because it was so hot, I mean, it's kind of hard to play with wool or even cotton, to be honest with you.
I mean...
when it's 100 degrees outside and humidity is...
I was about to say, it wasn't the degrees that bothered me, it was the
90 to 95% for
the
months
90
on
degrees
end.
and 90% humidity, and like, you really don't want to do anything but just like lay on your back and like...
Yes. So we moved to the Northeast.
Yep.
And we both picked our hooks and needles or pins or whatever you call the sticks that you use to make knots with. We picked them up and we haven't stopped.
Put them down since. I mean, I have here and there when I'm stressed I fall off the wagon, but it always is ironic to me because I get so stressed that I stop creating and then I start again and my stress levels go down.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, maybe if I just force myself to do this thing, it will actually help the stress
level
that is causing me to not want to do it. But
yeah. So.
Yep.
That's our story.
Well, more my story.
Well, true, your story.
How did you learn to crochet? You learned to crochet at first, right?
I learned to crochet from my grandmother. My mother wasn't a big...
Isn't.
Well,
she is not and was not, but she continues on currently to not be.
She was a sewer or a sewist.
Right.
Not professionally.
Seamstress? Didn't she, like, teach fashion in college or something?
She did, but she didn't teach. She taught interior design. So more about fabric placement, color theory, that kind of thing.
I'm not even going to touch that.
But
it explains so much about the interior design of people.
So, but my grandmother was a professional seamstress. She sewed.
I didn't know that. I didn't know she was professional.
Well, she sewed for people. So she took in work. She did piecework when my mother was really young, and then she took in seamstress jobs for people when I was little. So
she was a professional seamstress.
I believe so. I think nowadays you would call it.
She didn't work for a company, but that's still...
Yeah.
Yeah.
She worked out of her home. She did a lot of things with her hands. Lots of doilies everywhere. So she taught me how to crochet doilies.
That's pretty cool, though.
She was not a knitter. She did not do embroidery. She did not do cross stitch. It was only crochet and only sewing. My father's mother was also an avid crocheter. But I didn't spend a lot of time with Grandmama Avery, so I didn't...
It's a family name, for the record. That's...
Oh, sorry. Yes.
It's fine.
Avery, and that's my maiden name. But I did have, at one point earlier in my life, I did have samples of her crochet. They were lost in the Nashville flood.
Yeah.
Like a lot of our belongings. So, but that's a
lot to unpack in the first episode. But it's really cool because that also explains why I learned to crochet first and why I still suggest that people learn to crochet before they learn to knit. To this day. Like, it is a thing where if you feel intimidated by knitting, my first response is if you want to get into using fiber and yarn, I would suggest learning to crochet and then learning to knit, because
I also think that by doing that, you're training your hands. And to me, the act of crocheting is there. It mimics the continental method, or how I knit. Maybe it's not continental. Maybe it's just some Angie made up way.
I mean,
but
there's no wrong way to knit as long as you get what you want.
Right. I pick instead of throw. So to me, crochet mimics that action. So you're changing from crochet to knitting with that muscle memory. I don't think it's as hard.
Like, there's not very many other crafts that, like, I mean, I guess, like, embroidery, but not the same. Like, it's not...
Well, usually embroidery or cross-stitch, one hand is holding and the other hand is moving.
Doing stuff, which I'm learning. I have all the stuff to learn that. But I just think that when you're starting to... Also, the other thing about crocheting versus knitting first is unknitting something is a whole other skill set. Like, the ability to unknit exactly 2 rows when you are first learning to knit can just be the most intimidating,
Yeah.
and then you just end up frogging the entire thing and starting over, and that is so defeating.
Yeah.
Whereas with crochet, it's just beep, 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 there we go.
Well,
and you just do it again.
Yeah, because there's only one active.
Yeah, exactly.
There's only one active stitch ever with crochet.
Right.
Where with knitting, there's ever how
All of
many
All of
active
them are
stitches
alive,
you
and
have.
you can drop
Right.
any of them.
Right.
And if you're still learning how to like
To manage
keep track
active,
of
yeah.
an active stitch, that can be a lot. It's a lot regardless of when you learn to knit. But like, I just think learning to crochet. But then again, as we've just discovered, I've been crocheting for most of my life. So
I also know that when I want something fast,
Mm-hmm.
like if I am feeling like I haven't accomplished something,
Mm-hmm.
I have a tendency to.
Or if you have to start over 3 times. That was always what was intimidating to me about knitting, is because as soon as I felt like I got my stride, I would screw it up so bad, and then I would have to start completely over.
No, well, what I was going to say is I usually put down whatever I'm working on if I'm not feeling accomplished and do a fast crochet project.
I mean, yeah.
So that I can feel like, okay, I actually
That's why I love the granny square
created
blanket.
something. This is, I've accomplished X, whatever it might be.
That's, my roommate and I are continually working on this granny square blanket. It's gonna be huge. It's a little bit ridiculous. I love it. But that's why I love it so much, is because it's like, I can sit down if I'm feeling particularly some type of way about needing to finish something and just bang out 4 granny squares. So that's a good, not that you guys will ever see it, but
Well, they might.
when you see the behemoth, when it's done, sure. Because every time G and I are like, should we make it bigger?
You
It just
can
gets bigger.
take the camera and video it.
Maybe. All that to say, we've been doing the fiber situation for
For
20
me,
plus years at this point. For you, way longer. Because you used to
probably
do
40 to 45, 50 years.
Yeah.
Yes. I know I don't look that old, but thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. So that's why we've decided that it's time to have a podcast and
Yes.
to do the dream job of owning a yarn dyeing business.
Yes.
Which this was going to happen regardless of the yarn dyeing business, but
Yeah.
we do also do that. Since you spend most of your time on YouTube watching.
Yes, I
So
do
many.
watch a lot of knitting podcasts.
I don't.
I watch
So many.
true crime podcasts, knitting podcasts, and Critical Role. That's about it.
I don't watch any of those. Well, the funny part about Critical Role is I watched Campaign 1, and you now are watching Campaign 2 and have gone back and watched Campaign 1.
I watched all of Campaign 1, caught up in Campaign 2, and have restarted Campaign 2
She has way more time than I do.
while they're taking the quarantine rest.
Yeah.
So I think the world of the Critical Role crew. I just think that they have a very good outlook on life. And I think we should all love each other and be kind to one another.
Hear, hear. There's nothing to disagree with there. I wasn't able to get into Campaign 2 the way I was into Campaign 1, so.
I think that you watched it earlier on and
Yeah, no, the funny part is I remember you being like,
there were some things that happened, and I think that you would probably really, really like it if you got past the hump.
I don't have time.
I know.
I watched the majority of Critical Role when I was working at a warehouse doing very mindless work. And now I no longer do that.
Yep.
And
yeah.
So I don't have the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But it's cool. That's cool.
So we started a yarn business because we've been playing with fiber for so long.
And
not that you guys wanted to know about my podcast watching or anything, but yes. So we started a yarn business.
Right. You wanted to do a podcast with me because you were like, these people look like they're having so much fun.
Yes.
So we decided to do both.
Yes.
Ergo, here we are.
So our yarn company is Big Skein.
Yep.
And we went with Big Skein because
we're thick girls.
Yep.
Who like thick yarn.
Yes.
So it's sort of
fit.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Which, I mean, we might end up with fingering at some point, but currently the lightest we have is a DK light.
Yeah, I would say if we end up with fingering, we try to curate all of the bases that we use and make certain that it, that the yarn doesn't split. The last thing we want is to put a product out that's going to be a frustration to a customer. So,
and we've had lots of frustrating skeins.
Yes, we have purchased several.
So many.
Yes, yes.
I am the designated untangler. Or I used to be when I lived with you, and now I no longer live with her, and I just get photos of her going, why did I do this? And I'm like,
yeah.
You thought it was a good idea at the time, I guess.
So, with that, if we were to have fingering, it would be
pretty special.
Yeah.
Have to be pretty special, because there's a lot of fingering out there.
So, we'll do a shop update at the end of the episode.
Which, I mean, our episodes are going to follow the standard format.
Yeah.
I don't watch YarnTube, which,
so,
again,
YarnTube.
If it's not called YarnTube, I am deciding that it should be. Because if costuming YouTubers can call it CostTube, fiber people should call it YarnTube.
Or FiberTube.
No, YarnTube sounds better.
I think so too.
Because YouTube, YarnTube, haha, LOL.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. That's good. So,
So, this is sort of like the chitty chat nonsense.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Which apparently is a thing.
And
in case
then
you think we're funny. I don't know.
We'll do finished objects,
finished.
works in progress, any goodies that we've gotten over the last ever how long between the episodes. And then if we have time, we'll do like wish list, like things we want to knit or yarn we want to touch. And then, is there something else?
Problem childs talking about.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Issues that we're having with patterns, which I don't think we're having. Oh, I guess kind of.
And then we'll do the shop update. So the shop update will be at the very end, and we'll make certain that we state it, so that if you don't want to hang around for it, you certainly don't have to.
Yeah, don't have to. But that means you know who we are. Just to recap, in case you forgot, Angie, mom,
Avery,
daughter.
Yes, that's us.
Yeah.
And we live in New England.
Yep.
And we own Thick Skein.
Yep.
We both still work real jobs, but we own Thick Skein.
I mean, I would say that Thick Skein is a real job.
Well, yes. Sorry. I mean,
we work in the professional field making money, but we would love to have Thick Skein be the only job.
Yes, we would.
But
one day.
One day. We'll get there soon.
One day.
But not yet. So, finished objects
Finished
first.
objects. Okay. So, speaking of thick skein, this is a bandana cowl that I created.
Yep.
This is my pattern.
Yep.
And this is thick skein DK light. These are our spring colorways.
Yep.
Hydrangea is the blue and purple. The green is grass. The yellow and purple with touches of blue and green is iris. And then this lovely peachy pink is peony.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bring it up a little bit closer so you might be able to see it a little bit better.
I'll also see about inserting a photo maybe on the screen.
So, and these colors are available now.
Yeah.
The pattern is going to tech editing within the next couple of weeks, and I'll hopefully release it
Before the end of summer?
sometime in mid-July. I'm hoping. So, and it's called the garden bandana cowl. So, that's my first finished object.
Yep.
And the second one is by the lovely Heather and Hops. It's a test knit that I did for her.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Malabrigo Pashmina, I think is what it's called.
Malabrigo or Madelinetosh?
Oh, Madelinetosh. Whew. Sorry, thank you for correcting me. And this is a retired colorway. So it's actually kind of a halter type top with texture along the bottom. And again, we'll put a picture in. Heather and Hops hasn't released this yet, but she was perfectly fine with me showing this on the
I really like it,
podcast.
actually, quite a bit.
This is actually going to be Avery's.
I didn't know that when I first told her that I liked it, but...
So I would say wait. It's going to be called the Cala Galdana, which I believe is an area in Greece or somewhere.
Ireland?
No, it's in one of the Mediterranean areas.
Italy?
They went there on holiday.
Oh. I mean, it's
So.
cool, regardless.
So those are my finished objects.
Cool.
What did you have?
Not as many.
Oh, it's okay.
First would probably be the socks that I made, which really probably need to be washed at this point because I've worn them several times. But, again, we'll figure out how to insert a photo, I guess. These are a pair of socks that I made using the
DK Light
and Iris, but the pattern is by Roots and Rain.
Yep.
I think it's her northwestern or northeastern comfy socks, and I just made them shorties instead of like longer because I don't like long socks. Really easy pattern, really great. Definitely 10 out of 10 would recommend you getting it if you want to try socks.
These are Avery's first pair of socks. So she had never knit socks before.
Never finished a pair.
And
I never
she-
even finished a single sock, actually. I always got halfway through and was like, this is getting boring.
So this pattern actually stepped her through the whole process.
Yeah.
And she was able to turn the heel and everything on her own. I didn't have to talk her through any of it. So I would recommend that pattern.
Yeah, well worth the like $3.50 I spent on it. It's
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Also, I think her like entire modus operandi where she uses, I think I stalked her on Instagram just a little bit. I think I followed her on my personal. And she uses like rainwater to dye her yarn so that she cuts
Yeah.
down on her water waste, which is, I think, like wicked cool. And she also uses a lot of all natural dyes, which again is really cool.
Yeah.
So might be
Check her out.
Check her out and maybe buy some for myself.
Yeah.
Mayhaps, because looks really nifty.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So our DK light is actually a really lightweight DK or a sport.
Yeah. Good for socks.
So just wanted to make sure. I don't want anybody to think that we're making socks with a DK weight.
You probably could.
Yeah.
It would be very large.
Or squishy and nice boot socks.
Yes. Which I think those were meant to be boot socks. She mentions them being in boots. But I'm just going to wear them all the time. Because I can. And also I love socks a lot. But those are my socks. My Iris socks. Which as soon as I saw Iris I was like, need to make a pair of socks. I don't know why. But I was like, this needs to be on my body, specifically on my feet.
Yeah. It's a cool colorway.
I like it a lot, actually, which is ironic because I thought that hydrangea was going to be my favorite because I love blue and like the most. And then Iris just was like, hey, and I was like, hello?
Yeah. So, is that all your finished objects?
No, I'm wearing the other one.
I was going to say, you've got one on.
I literally have it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Streamline Tank?
Streamline Tank.
Yeah, and by Anna.
Oh.
I can't remember her name. I feel really bad.
Sorry.
I will link to it. Again, well worth the money spent on the pattern because it was really easy. I really like how it fits me. It's really drapey.
This is Ewetopia Pashm.
Yeah, in Moonlight.
Moonlight, yes.
Moonlight, yeah. And I still have, I think, over half a ball left. But the pattern itself is great. The yarn was super easy to work with, really nice.
The sizing looks really good. I don't know how size inclusive the pattern is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Very. This is a 2X, but it goes up, I think, 3 more.
So it goes up to a 5X, so it's pretty, that's pretty...
It might be a 4X, but it goes up to a 4 or 5X, which for a free pattern, pretty good, and also, like...
It's also not, it's knit flat.
Yeah.
Not knitting around. And you've seen the sides.
So it's really easy to, I think, customize it if you need it. Like, if you need it to be longer, she clearly states this is where you would knit for it to be longer. I think the next time I make one, which I will be making another one, I'm going to make the straps a little bit shorter so that it's a little bit higher, because while I've been told this does wonders for my cleavage, sometimes you would like the girls to stay inside. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Which, when you have a larger bosom, yeah, sometimes they would like to come out to play instead.
See? Swearing friendly.
I don't know how else to say that.
Not necessarily swearing, but might not want the children to hear it.
I mean, I don't think... Listen, if your kids aren't aware that your boobs are large, I don't know how to help you. And if your kids aren't aware that there are people with large boobs, do they go outside? This is a genuine question. If your kids don't realize that there are people with large boobs, do they go outside? It's fine if they don't, because currently they shouldn't. There's a pandemic happening, but people with boobs exist.
Okay, Avery.
I'm not wrong. I just don't innately think that my boobs are, like, inappropriate for children. I don't think that I should be waving them in a child's face. But I don't think that me being like...
No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant the conversation.
Yeah, but I think...
Just saying. Not bad. Just might not be something the mama wants to hear the babies to hear.
Okay. I firmly... Yes. So, shorter straps. because
Yes.
boobs away, but, you know, it's really nice for your boobs sometimes if you want them out. Maybe.
Works in progress.
On to works in progress.
Yes.
You have more in progress than I do.
I only brought 2.
She is a serial whipper.
Yes, I am.
Serial whipper.
So
She's got whippersnappers all over the place.
Is the Buttercup.
Uh-huh.
And the yarn is Malabrigo the colorway Malabrigo Sock, and this is the colorway Indecita.
Mm-hmm.
Buttercup actually has a lace panel. Don't know if it's noticeable there,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lace panel across the neckline. And the neckline is kind of squared a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think I'm probably 2 or 3 rows from splitting for the sleeves.
I think it's going to be precious.
So it's
be
a
honest.
A-line tunic type. Again, it's in fingering, so it's probably going to take me till next summer to have it finished.
She's going to have it next summer to wear, which is why we use usually DK.
Yes. But I've had this Malabrigo Indecita.
So
I think this is one of the first yarns I bought once we moved north.
really,
Yeah, I think I got it at Webb's.
like the first time we went to Webb's?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Huh.
And it has been another sweater. And I never wore it, so I frogged the sweater
Yeah.
so that I could get the yarn back and
Yep.
use it for something else.
Yep. It's the
So
ideal.
there's that. And then the other is very recently started, the Rocket Tea by Tanis Laval. I think her name's Lavali. Sorry, it'll be linked below. And this is cutthroat cotton. Cutthroat yarn in their cotton. 100% cotton. I wanted to see. I've never knit with cotton.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even for like dishcloths?
Oh, I've knit dishcloths, but not that. This isn't. This feels different. Feel it.
I mean, feels like cotton, but I understand what you mean. Like it is definitely a finer.
It's a fingering weight.
Yeah. We just said we don't use fingering weight in both of your projects.
Both
or
of
finger.
Yep. I know, but it's summer.
It is summer.
I do have other things on my needles
So many things.
that are not fingering weight. These just happen to be the 2 that I picked up because these are the 2 that I'm playing with the most. So,
Good job.
so that's the Rocket Tea
It's our
by Tanis. You start at the back of the neck, cast on, and then it's raglan. So you do increases across for here, and it's a V-neck. So there are increases coming down until you get to a point, and then you connect and work in the round.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. That's the one I will be spending a lot of time playing with that and the cotton. So, what are you working on?
Socks. Because I've discovered socks. and figured out that I can make them, and I really love socks.
Well,
my roommates have decided that it's kind of a joke that I'm gonna need an entire like chest of drawers for socks at this point, because I have a lot of socks, but now I make more. right around the time when I was like, you guys aren't allowed to let me buy any more socks.
You learned to make socks.
I learned to make socks. Which wasn't planned, but
Hey.
if you want new socks, that's one way to make sure you get them. So the first sock that I guess I'll talk about is, no, look at the other one because we can go into the other thing. So this is this is the second sock in this pair, which is ironic that I'm making pairs of socks since I don't usually bother matching my socks. But this is the second one, and it's in our, again, DK Light Peony. And I don't actually have a pattern. I just sort of started doing stuff.
So you just made a pattern up. We just haven't written it down.
Yeah. But
And this is this the Eye of Partridge heel, I believe?
yes, I think so.
Yes, I think so too.
Or some unholy combination of like 4 different things. I don't know. I think it looks cool. I like it quite a bit so far.
Hold it up to the camera so they can see it.
The front, the bottom, which is boring. That's the heel. Again, I've done the first one.
And you're almost to the toe now.
Yeah, I'm only like an inch off from where I would start the decreases, maybe an inch and a half. I really like using this for socks because they go really, really, really fast.
So what was the cast on count?
48.
48.
48.
On a size 2 needle?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hold on. This is very easy. Yes, it's a size 2. US size 2.
Yeah.
So
I've actually got a pair of bed socks, which are like really heavy for people that have really cold feet in the winter.
yeah.
I'm working on a pair of bed socks, and I'm using our DK Light.
Yeah.
And I'm using a size 1 so that they're thicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I cast on 54 stitches for that sock.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits a size 8 foot fairly well. One other work in progress.
I do have one other work in progress, which I think could segue into problem children. Is that what we're calling them?
Yes, problem children.
So, a little bit of backstory. I actually do stalk Ravelry sock patterns for ones that I think are really cute and want to own, but have always been too intimidated to try. And also, I grew up really enjoying Harry Potter, which meant that the everyday Hermione sock has been something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. So here it is, about halfway through. Again, I made it a shorty because I don't like long socks. And
I just don't think the pattern and the yarn go together.
I don't think so either. So the yarn I have had, I've had it for years. Like, I think I bought this at a yarn convention. Like
yarn festival.
A festival or something like that. Years and years and years ago, and it's just been laying around waiting for me to use it because it's just like my normal colors, which is like blue and green and...
Yeah.
So it's been
I think
waiting.
I think the yarn would make a really cool hat or with very little texture, but I think the texture for Hermione is getting lost.
Well, at first I thought it was the needles because I had borrowed
A set of ones
from her, and they were like the square metal ones. What are they
Yeah.
called?
Kollage, but I'm not sure the company that puts them out.
I despise them.
I like them.
She likes them.
So-
I think that she's lost her marbles and they're terrible. But again, I do magic loop. Apparently this is not a normal thing that people do all the time, but I do it.
I do
And
it on socks all the time.
The cord was just so stiff, and like the needle, I constantly felt like I was scratching it against it. And I was like, I don't know. So
I think you like wood better, and that's fine. That's what you prefer to work with wood.
I mean, I've been known to like metal needles too. But, and we'll talk further about this in the goodie section, because I did go and buy a different pair of needles, hoping that would fix it. It hasn't, so
You're still not happy with the outcome.
I'm not happy with how it looked. Like, knitting it is easier to do
With the new
needles, but I still don't like how it's turning out, so I think I'm going to...
So you're not
frog
happy
it.
with the product.
Right, but I'm going to try doing the Hermione on a different yarn.
Yeah.
Because we have plenty
Yeah.
of sock weight yarn. It's just, I was very excited to use this, and I was very excited to make the Hermione, and I don't think that the two married very well, so...
Yeah. Hold it up so that they can see the pooling and see the attempt to see the texture. Here, hand me the ball.
She gets bossy.
Well,
It's like, I don't know if the light... I'll take a picture and we can try to insert it. It's just like the texture on the top of the foot is getting lost in the color pooling, but the texture is causing the color pooling to not look its best.
yeah.
And it's like, do I want to sink even more time into a sock that I'm not sure I'm gonna want
Yeah.
to wear?
Yeah.
So, you know, well, I don't know.
I have a pattern that you might want to try with that yarn.
Well, I did maybe buy something
Oh, okay.
that I want to start working on.
Okay. All
That I
right.
thought this might be good for.
Oh, all right.
Maybe. Possibly.
Okay.
Perchance.
That works.
But that's all of my works in progress because...
Do you want to go ahead and talk about your goodies since we
Like
talked
the-
about problem,
Sure.
your problem child, and
'Cause
I don't.
You don't have any problems.
I
with it
have
right
a
now?
problem child, but I'm going to save that problem child until our next,
Oh.
because
That
I haven't.
problematic?
Yes, I had to put that baby to bed for a little while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Put it to bed.
Yeah, it's resting. I needed to take a break. It needed to take a break.
Yeah. Just, we're on a break with that, whatever it is. But okay, sure.
Paid pattern for a baby sweater that I
I know.
don't
I know what you're talking about.
don't think that the measurements are what they
We'll figure it out.
are supposed
We'll
to be.
talk about it next time.
So I would like to do a little bit more deconstruction on the problem before I
Talking
present
about
the full problem to the people.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah.
So goodies. On
Yeah.
a positive note. So I hated your, what were they called?
Kollage.
Kollage.
With a K. Kollage.
Well,
We'll link below.
Miss Kollage needles had me so feeling some type of way that I was like, I want to buy some new needles. But obviously with current events, you can't just walk into a store.
Right.
So my first thought was, well, I don't want to buy anything from, like, Michael's because Michael's, I mean, nothing against Michael's. I do shop at Michael's. Just, you know, that's
Well,
not
it's-
normally where I buy my needles.
Yeah.
Like, that's... So, my second thought was, Webs.
Yeah.
Because we go there quite often because it's in Northampton, which is only about an hour and a half max. Away with traffic. Hour and a half, hour-ish without traffic. But they wanted like $15 for a single set of ones, and I was like, and then shipping, and I was like, I don't know about that, man. Like, because one, the U.S. Postal Service lost my rent check not once, but twice in April. So I had just finished that debacle, which thankfully my landlord is like wicked nice, really like understanding, and his whole thing was like, as long as like I get the money at some point in the future, whatever. There's a lot of other things happening right now. And I was like, so, but I didn't really want to trust the post office with anything. So my next thought was, okay, what are other local yarn shops that might not charge me $15 to $18 for a single pair of needles? So I ended up looking at my favorite yarn shop in Salem, which I go to pretty often when the world isn't like this, and that would be Circle of Stitches. And sure enough, these were not $15. I think they were like $8 and $12. I think the other pair's $8 and $12. I bought 2 pairs of ones. Oh, they were $10 and $8. So, I bought the Chiaogoo because I was like, oh, I've heard these are really nice and fancy. And
I like Chiaogoo.
she likes Chiaogoo.
Red lace, yeah.
And I was like, oh, so I'll try those. And then, in case I hate them, I bought a pair of Lykke.
Yeah.
Lykke, like, whatever.
Lykke.
The Norwegian ones, in the driftwood color, because I have their interchangeable set, which I love. And I was like, well, if I hate the red lace ones, I'll definitely like those. And then as soon as I got them, I just put my work straight on the Lykke ones.
Instead of trying the
Chiaogoo. So
I'll probably pay her for the Chiaogoo.
I mean, I wasn't expecting you to pay me for them. I was just going to give them to you. And
okay.
I would still like to try them. But, I don't know. That you find what you like and then you just sort of stick with it in my experience. And I really like the Lykke needles.
Yeah.
I think because I do so much magic loop, how flexible their cords are.
Yeah.
Is just pretty great. My next major, like, wish list item is probably going to be a set of their crochet hooks. So that I can be that asshole that has matching needles and hooks. You know, like you do. But while I was at Circle of Stitches, she let me just stop by and pick up the needles, some yarn for Mom that Mom's going to talk about, and my roommate bought something as well. So it was actually really funny because we drove all the way to Salem, and we got there and we walked around for a little bit because we love going to Salem. It's like one of our favorite places to go and chill. And we're walking around. We went to a local cafe and we were sitting on their like little patio, essentially waiting for Circle of Stitches to open. Because she's not letting you go into the store, but she's letting you pick up between a certain time period. And I just looked up at the sky, and I could, like, see the pitch black moving towards us, and I was just like, we need to go, like, to Circle of Stitches right now. So we got there, she handed us the bag with our stuff, and, like, within seconds, she shut the door, thunder, lightning, buckets of water, whole kit and caboodle. I'm racing with my roommate back to my car, and we had planned to, like, chill at the park for a little while because the Salem Willows Park is gorgeous. We had planned to go over there and chill for a little while, maybe have, like, a picnic lunch. We did not do that. We came home because we were both soaked. But she packaged everything in plastic, not just the paper bag. So I think, I'm pretty sure she was doing that because of, like, virus concerns, not necessarily because of rain concerns, but it worked out either way. But that was our jaunt to Salem, and I actually have been considering placing another order for pickup with her.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, it's small business right now, can't be easy, especially when you're paying rent on a space in an area that's so expensive and you can't have people come in. Yeah. So
let me know if you are going to, because I may see if she has any more of this.
I think that she's out of that colorway.
So,
that's what I bought.
So what I got from Circle of Stitches is I had Avery pick up some SoftYak DK. Sorry, I was going the wrong way. You can tell this is our first time. So this is in the peat colorway.
Mm-hmm. You got 5 balls of that, right?
I got 5 balls, yes. And I, after getting it, decided what I wanted to do with it. And I need more of this colorway because I think I still can't get it. I think I'm going to make a gloam, which is the new cardigan that Caitlin Hunter released in the last few weeks.
How much more of it do you need?
I think I need 4.
You have 5, so you need 9 total.
I need to look at what the actual. It's the gloam actually has a lot of texture on it, and I just thought a solid like this would show the texture really well.
Yeah, my only concern is I think that was on sale, so I think it might be a bit harder to come by if it is like a colorway that they're.
So there is one small, not a local to us yarn shop, but a yarn shop called Dizzy Sheep that I order from often.
And this is one that's usually able to find the.
And because of the way they inventory not only by color but by lot. So oftentimes when I'm looking for a specific dye lot, I can order from them.
It just might be if you can't find that, you might have to find like a corresponding color and maybe do some color blocking, which would be a good way of still being able to use that. Yeah. And you could find like, I don't know, like a green.
Well, and that might work because
I haven't seen the pattern, so I don't know how it looks, but it might be that you could do like the sleeves and like up here in one colorway and then the rest of the body.
Yeah, I need to look at how the actual pattern, like on the body of the cardigan is laid out. So, as Avery said, during the quarantine period or lockdown or whatever we want to call it for COVID.
Current events.
Yeah. We've been trying to support as many local small businesses as possible.
Not just yarn businesses, but
like the butcher, the deli, like
the candlestick maker.
You name it. But one of the yarn shops that I chose to purchase from is a yarn shop down in New Jersey. and it's frame and fiber.
Mm-hmm.
Paige Miller.
Mm-hmm.
She has a yarn shop. She goes by Paige the Framer on most of the social media outlets. Paige has a framing shop as well as a yarn fiber store in the other half of her business. And I purchased yarn to go into either a gold wing or Aurelius by Jennifer Steingass. And I haven't decided yet which one, but I did get, it's Andorra by Kelbourne, I think it's Kelbourne Mills, Kelbourne Woolens. And this is ink black.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just because I thought the colors were really pretty, I got this, the ink black, I'll be using as the body for either the Aurelius or the Gold Wing. Like I said, I'm not sure which. And if I use it for the Gold Wing, I think I'll be using Stonehenge Fiber Crazy, which is kind of similar. It's a Woolens, dyed in the wool and then spun.
Mm-hmm.
And the Crazy is made from millions. So it's actually a really cool way to get multicolored yarn into a project. So this color, this is the same, Andorra by Kelbourne Woolens, and
Mm-hmm.
it's haint blue. This is another one called Snow White, and then the third is Lavender.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was thinking about making a hat with these three,
Uh-huh.
and not using them necessarily for the sweater. I just thought, I just liked the colors together.
Oh, I thought that you were going to use them all in a sweater.
So that's what I've gotten. I mean, I've gotten other things, but
She keeps being so mysterious about these other things that she's done. She has other works in progress. She has other things she's bought. I don't know anything that's going on. I'm just over here with my small little socks going. But so that's all you've gotten?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's all I've gotten.
Cool. Very cool.
Yep. So, did you have anything on a wish list? Is there anything you want? Like you were saying, there's this one thing you bought. You might use it for this.
So I might have bought the Beekeeper's quilt pattern.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Beekeeper's quilt pattern.
Yeah, that's the one where you make the little
Look.
hexapuffs.
Yeah.
And then you stuff them and then...
Yeah.
Yeah. Might have bought that. Probably gonna try that. I was gonna ask if you had size 4 DPNs, since your girl don't use DPNs.
I actually do have some size 4 DPNs.
So I was gonna see if I could borrow those and then maybe go take a jaunt to see my friend in Salem if I actually enjoy doing the pattern. But yeah, no, I figured we have enough fingering weight laying around in our yarn room at your house, at my house in the yarn bins that I have, and then also
yes,
with everything that making some, because let's be real here, doing granny squares with fingering weight yarn, 1, takes forever, and 2,
hold it double.
really, yeah, but also
yeah.
So that's my big. I also want to start either one of these or another tank, because I really like this.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do next.
Awesome.
Once I finish my socks or frog my sock.
Yeah.
But I think that would be really cool hexabuffs. I think that colorway would pool really cool.
Yeah.
with that, and I think that that would be a good way of using at least some of that yarn.
Yeah.
If not just doing like a pair of, like,
The alternative is to do one of the garter stitch blankets where they're just making big stripes of garter stitch. No?
No.
Okay.
I like patterns where it's like, especially for blankets,
Little pieces.
so that I
you
can
feel
make,
like
and then
you're
I can like,
accomplishing.
yeah. Because otherwise, I get halfway through it, or a quarter of the way through it, or an eighth of the way through it, and I'm just like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why? This is so big.
Yeah.
Whereas like with the Hexie Puffs, apparently it's really good that you can just like take it and go.
Yeah.
Which,
I've heard that. I've just never tried it.
well, I'm gonna, and I bought it. So,
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything that you want to try other than your?
I'm doing the cotton. I'm doing the cotton.
The cotton.
I want to play with the cotton. I might even at some point buy some bare cotton,
Mm-hmm.
and we may play with dyeing cotton
Oh.
to see
Yeah.
what the difference is. I know that it's a very different process
Uh-huh.
to dye plant protein than
Yeah.
to dye animal protein. So I'm curious about it. But I wanted to work with a quality cotton.
Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
kind of get a feel for what that felt like
Mm-hmm.
before I purchased and tried to find some that we might be interested in dyeing for the business.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I also want to buy either some Surrey alpaca or a cashmere, a DK cashmere blend
Mm-hmm.
that's more cashmere than merino,
Uh-huh.
or maybe even a lighter. I'm not crazy about mohair because I don't like the stickiness, I think
Mhm.
is the word that
Mhm.
I'm trying to find. It just like feels like it sticks to itself and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the feeling when I'm dyeing it, it just doesn't feel tactile. It doesn't feel good to me.
I mean, I'm also just not a huge fan of mohair. And my biggest problem with alpaca is I love the way alpaca feels, but it splits.
So, and that's one of the reasons why I would really like to
Really bad.
try a couple of other sources.
Yeah.
An alpaca base or a
Mhm.
cashmere base that is that doesn't split,
Mm-hmm.
that can be held with a fingering,
Yeah.
possibly for some of the things like the petite knits, little raglan sweater. I can't think of the name of it. We'll link it below. But there's so many of these hold with mohair, and I would like to, for us at Thick Skein, to eventually offer an alternative to the mohair.
Because
Some
I think there
people-
are people who are allergic to mohair.
Yeah, well, I think some people just don't like the feel of
Well,
it.
also mohair, like, I don't know, like I'm a snob. I like things that are soft, and I'm just not, and not fuzzy soft.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That made me, I don't know. I'm just
So-
not a huge fan of mohair. Which is fine, like anybody can use whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's what makes knitting great, is,
So with the alpaca, with the Surrey alpaca, you get a halo.
mm-hmm.
With the cashmere, you don't get as much of a halo, but you get more of the softness. So I'm hoping that
There's
between,
cashmere in this.
yes, there is
And
cashmere.
I
in that.
really like this.
Yeah,
it's a
cashmere
very
is,
small amount of cashmere, but it's there.
it's always going to add more drape to
Yeah.
whatever it's in. So, so yeah, that's what I'll be.
Keeping an eye out
Yeah.
for, wanting.
Yep, that's what my wish list is. So now we're going to talk about the shop update.
And if you're not interested
So-
in that, we will see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And we wish you all the best. And we hope that you get to play with fiber as often as you want to.
Yeah. If not more often when you want to.
There you go.
Yeah. But, you know, shop stuff.
Yeah, so shop update now. So right now we have all of our winter colors are up and on sale, and there's many there. And then we have these 4 spring colorways that are available.
Yep.
And they're across 4 different bases.
Yep.
And those bases range from a chunky all the way down to DK light.
Yep.
So,
My personal favorite is the twist.
which is our chunky.
Mm-hmm. And it's up really fast, and it has a really great sheen to it. But I also, as you can tell, have been using the heck out of the DK light. So we like pretty much all of them. Well, we like all of them. Obviously, we like all of them, or they wouldn't be in our shop. But
Yeah.
that's the biggest update right now, is that we have everything there.
Yep.
And we have begun working on,
Getting ready for fall.
which I'm personally very excited about.
Yep, me
But-
too. I think we have some really awesome, 2 very cool, variegated colorways that we're going to launch. I think a really cool, neutral, light color that can be used in color work, and some interesting, darker, saturated colorways that can be used either with the variegated or with the light colorway in color work. So I think we have some really good options for fall.
Yep.
We're not sure if we're going to launch those all at one time like we did spring, or if we're going to roll them out on a weekly basis like a lot of other dyers do. And once we know that, we'll let you know.
But yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
for
we appreciate you being here.
what was probably quite a long time.
And we hope you'll come back.
Because we'll
And-
be here.
Again, please play with fiber as often as you can.
Especially in these very stressful times.
Yeah.
Because we all deserve to have
Yeah.
a moment.
Whether you're hooking or knitting, whichever, it
You're
always
hooking or booking, man.
Hey.
Hooking or booking. Let's go.
it always helps.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.